Tonight, the big, beautiful breakup. President Trump now threatening Elon Musk. Tweet by tweet, the close friendship between the president and Musk exploding in public view. The president saying he may cut Musk's company's contracts, sending Tesla stock into a free fall. Elon Musk slamming Trump's budget and saying tariffs will cause a recession. Our Garrett Hake questioning the president directly about the rift in the Oval Office. It all comes as the White House launches a sprawling travel ban again. A judge threatening to throw Sean Diddy Combs out of the courtroom, what the disgraced mogul allegedly did to jurors that set off the judge. Inside the mind of Luigi Mangione, his handwritten note laying out grievances ahead of the murder of United Healthcare CEO. The new video inside the drone strike on Russian airfields, plus exclusive access inside the factories making AI-powered drones. The cost of denial, what happened when our Vicky Wynn tried to call the doctors listed as in-network by a major health insurer. Turns out, many don't exist. And the warning to women taking the pill and taking weight loss drugs. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. Tonight, the clash of the titans, a very public feud igniting between President Trump and the world's richest man, Elon Musk. The fight breaking out today after President Trump said in the Oval Office that he was, quote, disappointed over Musk's disapproval of his spending bill. Musk blasting the president, saying, without me, Trump would have lost. But it didn't stop there. The president then took to Truth Social, threatening to cut contracts with Musk's companies. Tesla stock plummeting. Take a look at this, about 14%, pulling markets with it. Then Musk escalating the feud on X, his own social media platform, hinting at a conspiracy theory involving the president and Jeffrey Epstein, and threatening to back impeachment. Garrett Hake was in that Oval Office meeting and questioned the president directly. Here's his story tonight.
Tonight, the stunning public breakup.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if it went well anymore. I was surprised.
Just days after that lavish Oval Office send-off.
He's done a fantastic job.
So I expect to remain a friend and an advisor.
President Trump and his once top ally, Elon Musk, now in a nasty public feud.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
All starting this morning when the president was asked about the former Doge leader's criticism of his so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which extends the Trump 2017 tax cuts and eliminates taxes on tips and overtime. Musk slamming it, saying it spends too much.
Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
The president, who recently showed off his Tesla at the White House, saying Musk's opposition began because the bill eliminates electric vehicle tax credits, which hurts Musk's business.
He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk responding in real time on X. False. This bill was never shown to me even once. Moments later writing, whatever, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork. I pressed Trump about Musk's criticism.
And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point, they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it, and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome.
Put the signs up, put the hat on. Let's go.
All of it a sudden shift for Musk, who enthusiastically campaigned for Trump. Today, the president suggesting he would have won in 2024 without the support of the world's richest man.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Minutes later, Musk firing back, writing, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude. And this afternoon, the war of words escalating even further. President Trump posting, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate, and he just went crazy. And that the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Musk then writing, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they've not been made public. Musk offered no evidence to back up his accusation, and nothing made public has implicated Trump, who's denied any involvement in Epstein's criminal behavior. The White House responding to Musk's claim, saying it's a, quote, unfortunate episode from Elon. The president late today posting, "I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress."
Across the board, Tesla shares.
Meanwhile, as all of this unfolded, Tesla's stock plummeted, losing over 14% of its value.
All right, Garrett Hake joins us now live. Garrett, you also pressed the president on another major headline, his new travel ban on 12 countries.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. This new ban includes Haiti, Iran, and Yemen. The president says those countries don't do enough to vet travelers and cited the Egyptian national who overstayed his visa and is now charged in that Colorado attack. But when I asked him why Egypt wasn't included on this list, he said they have things, quote, under control. Democrats have called this new policy reckless and discriminatory. Tom?
All right, Garrett Hake leading us off from the White House. President Trump also announcing an inquiry into his predecessor's use of an autopen. But when pressed today, he acknowledged he has no evidence documents were signed without President Biden's knowledge or of anything illegal. Here's Gabe Gutierrez.
Tonight, President Trump is ordering a wide-ranging inquiry into former President Biden and his administration, accusing Biden's aides of using autopen signatures to cover up his cognitive decline.
The biggest scandal of the last many years is the autopen, and who's using it.
Presidents from Barack Obama to John F. Kennedy to Thomas Jefferson have used autopens or mechanized signing devices. It is legal, and Trump has acknowledged using the autopen himself.
Only for very unimportant papers.
Today, he was pressed whether he's uncovered evidence of anything signed without Biden's knowledge.
No, but I've uncovered, the human mind. I was in a debate with the human mind, and I didn't think he knew what the hell he was doing.
Last week, Biden, who was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, brushed off growing scrutiny of his mental competence while in office.
I put my record as president against any president at all.
Overnight, the former president blasting Trump's autopen inquiry as a distraction. "Let me be clear," Biden writing, "I made the decisions during my presidency. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false." House Republicans are also ramping up their inquiry into former President Biden, issuing a subpoena for his White House position. If he does testify, it would be unprecedented, Tom.
It would. All right, Gabe, great to have you here in studio. Turning now to an explosive moment at Sean Diddy Combs' criminal trial, the judge threatening to kick the music mogul out of court over his facial expressions and gestures. Jurors today also hearing graphic testimony from an ex-girlfriend. Here's Stephanie Gosk.
Lavish trips, cash, and a lot of drugs. That's how the woman testifying with the pseudonym Jane says her relationship began with hip-hop tycoon Sean Diddy Combs. But Jane says after she fell head over heels for Combs, he started having other men join them. Escorts, according to Jane. What percentage of the time after that did you have sex with another man? Prosecutors asked. 90%, the single mother told the jury. Did you want to do that? She answered no. Jane said she wanted an old-fashioned relationship, but agreed to what Combs called debauchery or hotel nights to keep him happy. She told the court the nights took place in hotel suites with red lights, music, lotions, and an excessive use of baby oil everywhere. The sessions could last up to 30 hours, according to her testimony, and always with drugs, including ecstasy and ketamine. During their relationship, which started in 2021 and ended when the music mogul was arrested, Jane says he supported her, paying her rent and wiring her tens of thousands of dollars. Combs pleaded not guilty to 5 federal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering. In court today, a dramatic moment played out after the jury was excused for lunch. The judge turning to the defense team and saying, "I was very clear there should be no facial expressions to the jury." The judge said Combs was nodding vigorously and looking at the jury during the cross-examination of a witness. The judge saying if it happens again, he would consider removing Combs from the courtroom altogether. Jane has only just started her testimony. She could be on the stand for days. Prosecutors say she was coerced with drugs, lies, and threats to take part in Combs' sex parties. Tom?
Stephanie Gosk for us. We head overseas now. Russia launched new attacks on Ukraine as President Trump revealed more about what he said in his phone call with Vladimir Putin, including comparing the war to a fight among children. Keir Simmons has late details.
Tonight, President Trump revealing what he told Vladimir Putin on the phone.
I gave that analogy to Putin yesterday.
Comparing the war to a fight among kids.
Sometimes you see 2 young children fighting like crazy. They hate each other and they don't want to be pulled. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart.
President Trump saying Putin told him he was going to retaliate against Ukraine for its covert drone attack on Russian bombers. Trump saying he asked Putin not to strike Ukraine.
I don't like it. I said, don't do it. You shouldn't do it.
New images of that drone attack show 2 valuable Russian spy planes targeted and possibly damaged. The drone bounces off the plane's radar while Russian bombers are on fire. And tonight, NBC News with rare access to Turkish drone manufacturer Baykar that supplies Ukraine.
We act on principle.
They say drones are changing war, strengthening the underdog.
It has given nations an edge that they would have never have had.
Meanwhile, Tom, a new estimate says the war has cost Russia almost 1 million casualties. Ukraine's number, 400,000 soldiers. Tom?
All right, Keir Simmons for us. Back here at home to our series, The Cost of Denial, the frustration known as ghost networks. When patients call healthcare providers listed in the insurance company's network only to find one roadblock after another. Our Vicky Wynn explains.
Guy and Michelle Mazzola say they're battling a system that's failing their son.
How many hours a week do you spend fighting for your son's care?
I mean, depending on the week, 10, 15 hours a week, appeal after appeal, phone call after phone call.
Little Guy, as they call him, has autism and needs multiple therapies.
We thought, you know, it's got to be covered under insurance.
It was going to be pivotal for his life, like absolutely like different level of life he's going to have if he can get this care right now.
You do so good.
But as Michelle showed us, trying to find that care near their Connecticut home meant spending hours on the phone in frustration. Wrong numbers, incorrect information, or wait lists of 6 months or more.
I mean, this is crazy.
We tried too.
So this is supposed to be a speech-language pathologist under pediatrics, so hopefully.
And this is the current number listed.
Making call after call with Michelle to network providers listed by her insurer, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
To Verizon Wireless, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Out of 6 providers we called on the list, only 1 said they could make an appointment in a month. The other 5 either had non-working numbers or went like this.
Is that person offering speech-language therapy for pediatric patients?
No, ma'am, we do not treat for pediatrics.
Okay, and has that been the case always, or is that a new change?
It's been since the practice has been established.
Follow-up calls made by NBC News found that out of 21 additional service providers listed, 20 either didn't take patients' Guy's age or had no availability for months.
You want to watch something? No.
It's such a common problem, there's a term for it, ghost networks, when insurance companies show a robust list of available healthcare providers on paper, but not in practice.
Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield declined to be interviewed, but told us it is working with the Mazzola family to address Guy's needs and that its network meets access requirements outlined under state law. Because of the specialized services Guy requires, a number of the providers in the family's area are booked, and it can be challenging to get appointments immediately.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's just, there's basically no one here that can help.
Now you do.
Ghost networks exist nationwide. A recent study by the New York Attorney General's office of 13 health plans found 86% of the listed in-network mental health providers staff called were ghosts.
If you put off getting care, your diagnosis is being delayed, and that's dangerous for the patient.
The Mazzola's attorney, Steve Cohen, has filed 2 class action lawsuits over ghost networks, including one against Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, which moved to dismiss.
We want the insurance companies to act responsibly, to get their act together, to have accurate lists.
3, go!
Guy is now 2, and Michelle says he's showing some signs of progress, now receiving the care he needs, mostly paid for by the Mazzolas, with several out-of-network providers.
Okay.
Somebody's got to do something about it. So we're not going to stand for it, not for Guy.
All right, Vicky joins us now in studio. So, Vicky, for the viewers at home, if they find themselves in that ghost network type situation, what should they do?
Tom, experts we spoke with say first, get the care that you need. Then go back to your insurance company and file for an exemption or an appeal if you had to seek care from an out-of-network provider. And finally, report that ghost network to your state's Department of Insurance so they can investigate. Tom?
All right, Vicky went first tonight. Vicky, we thank you for that. In 90 seconds, why some of the worst air in the world was in the Midwest today. Plus, new clues into Luigi Mangione's state of mind, what we're learning from his alleged diary entries. The details next. We're back now with stunning new details in the Luigi Mangione case. In court documents, prosecutors unveiling alleged handwritten diary entries made by Mangione in the months leading up to the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Sam Brock has the details.
Tonight, the shock of last winter's Midtown murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson gaining new context as state prosecutors unveil writings and a letter to the FBI they say were composed by the man accused of killing him, Luigi Mangione. To save you a lengthy investigation, I wasn't working with anyone, he allegedly writes to the feds. I do apologize for any strife or trauma, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. In an entry dated a month and a half before the killing, according to the filing, Mangione allegedly writes, "So say you want to rebel against the deadly greed-fueled health insurance cartel. Do you bomb the HQ? No. Bombs equal terrorism." Instead, he writes that one should whack the CEO, adding, "It's targeted, precise, and doesn't risk innocence. Most importantly, the point is self-evident. The point is made in the news headline. Insurance CEO killed at annual investors conference."
How much influence do you think these latest revelations will have on the outcome of this case?
It's absolutely a win for the prosecution. They were handed something that will give an avenue that they will be able to pursue to secure potentially a top count conviction for terrorism on that murder charge.
In another motion earlier this week, the defense claiming that authorities have already prejudiced Mr. Mangione in the media more than virtually any defendant in recent memory. No comment tonight from United Healthcare and Mangione's legal team. Sam Brock, NBC News.
All right, up next, the warning about weight loss drugs like Ozempic and how they could impact pregnant women. That's next. We are back now with code red air alerts in the Midwest. Look at this. That's Chicago with extremely hazy skies after wildfire smoke blew in from Canada. Get this, today both Chicago and Detroit ranked in top 5 cities with the worst air quality on the planet. And take a look at this huge fire at a bus facility in Philadelphia. The flames spread to about 40 buses, sending thick black smoke into the air. It's still unclear how that fire started. And overseas, a terrifying moment for tourists in Bali. Look at this, when the boat sank. Local police say this boat sank after it dropped off and picked up some passengers when suddenly a large wave hit it after it released the anchor. The community quickly jumped in to help to get everyone off. Thankfully, all of the passengers were rescued. And finally, a new warning about weight loss drugs and how they may impact pregnant women. The UK's Medicine Regulatory Office is now saying that it's unclear if drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy might harm an unborn baby during pregnancy. The office is also warning women that some of these drugs could potentially make birth control pills less effective, leading to unexpected pregnancies. Okay, when we come back, we'll tell you what it means to live like Braun, how an 18-year-old from Southern California is inspiring a movement. Finally tonight, a story of hope after a tragic loss. If you've heard someone say, live like Braun, this is the story behind that mantra. As the fires tore through the Pacific Palisades,
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
The Levy family rushed to their home to find it engulfed in flames. Everything they owned would burn to the ground. The family's 18-year-old son, Braun, jumping into action, starting a support group for classmates that lost their homes.
He never felt sadness or bad for himself. He went into action, and that was living like Braun, action.
You see, for Braun, giving was living, traveling to countries in Africa and South America with his family, working with kids who had barely enough to survive.
Kids gravitated toward him, and he had a way of making everybody happy in any situation.
Then, just a month ago, Braun was walking home when an alleged drunk driver crashed right into him, taking his young, beautiful soul from his family and friends.
I don't know if you pray or if you talk to your son, but if you do, if there's anything you can share about what you tell him or what you want him to know.
I talk to him all the time. I just tell him how much I love him. And I tell him how much I love him and miss him.
I'll love you forever, Braun.
Somehow, the Levys have carried on, urging loved ones to keep their son's memory alive by encouraging them to, quote, live like Braun. Since his passing, the Live Like Braun movement has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in just weeks, already creating scholarships and other opportunities for students who have lived a life of giving.
Braun had such a full life, and that he had such a big impact on so many people makes me feel like it wasn't a life totally not worth living.
Live like Braun. That's Nightly News for this Thursday. Remember, tonight and always, we're here for you. I'm Tom Yamas. Have a good night.